Hello, this reading is for Brandy. We're going to look at the personality indicators of your chart today. And we're going to start with your rising sign, and then we're going to work all the way through your personal planets to see what, when they are all integrated together, how that might look for you. So I like to start with the ascendant because that is the one where we are dawning on others or we are first expressing ourselves, and even more importantly, how we're taking in our experiences of the world. So, with the Libra rising, we're coming into this world looking to find peace and harmony in our experiences and in how we exude our personality. So, when that is on the rising, it means that we're looking for this because we believe earlier in life or in a past life, even that we were deprived of this. So we spend our energies finding this. And when people meet us with Libra risings, they want to usually experience peace themselves. But it's the Libra rising who brings this unspoken desire for balance and harmony in all of their interactions. Some people describe this as a charming personality, in the way that you're influential in your ability to bring about this peace that you're looking for. And it can be a certain charm because where there's hostility, uncomfortableness, uncomfortable silence, you're able to sense that on like the sixth sense level and kind of morph the vibe into that of harmony and peacefulness. So people consider that to be charming because you, when you're around, you instantly make the place a little bit more comfortable to be yourself, but also to be engaging and cooperative and interested in other people. So you might be the type of person that bring people together. Maybe in new situations, you're often introducing others to help people communicate and get to know each other. It can be, you can be the bridge, so to speak, of other people to, you're kind of like that social lubricant sometimes. It doesn't really mean that you have to be like an extrovert or anything like that. It just means that when you're around, you're you're creating environments of peace and cooperation and partnerships. That is the Libra rising journey in all of the efforts for you to find peace in yourself and harmony in situations that you so want to experience in this lifetime. So you actually have a lot of energy going on in your first and 12th houses. So it just shows me that you're the kind of person that will be more influential to others than influenced by others. So if that makes sense, when your energy is in that side of the chart, you tend to be someone who people are gaining from your experiences and your knowledge and your presence. And it gives a symbolism of a stronger personality foundation. All this energy in the first house, you're really looking to find out who you are and spend time getting to know your own person in this life. So we'll move to the sun now, with the sun technically in the 12th house, so close to the ascendant, we would call that a conjunction. So with your sun conjunct your ascendant here, you exude this continuality of the ascendant where people first get to know you as this Libra presence that we just described. It also moves into your everyday self acknowledged personality. So if we were to ask a group of people about you, they might say the same thing that people who just meet you would say. And it gives you this sense of individuality that people can really feel. And it gives you this stronger impression on people in general. You are someone who, you're not going to change your personality to fit the needs of others. You are who you are. You stand in your own for good or for bad, which is kind of fun because in Libra rising, sometimes there's this tendency to have that chameleon effect to just make other people feel comfortable, regardless of your own sense of self. But when the sun is on the ascendant like that, it's different because now that is who you are. You're somebody who wants other people to feel comfortable, but you're not likely or less likely to bring any type of fakeness, or not to be fake, that has a negative connotation, but the chameleon effect, you're less likely to do that. Your natural presence is enough to usually get the mission accomplished and what you desire to do. You probably have an easier time when you are in new situations because you'll know instinctively if it is what you really want or what it is not fitting for yourself, because your ego is closely attached to your first impressions. There's no block between who you really are and who you come off as. So it's a smooth connection here, and you're able to make decisions a little bit easier than some of our other more indecisive Libra friends. Sometimes when you see all this energy here on the horizon on the first house in Libra, people with this placement sometimes feel like when they read about Libras, it's not always true to them because they're not as indecisive as sometimes Libras have a reputation for being. You tend to weigh both options, but once you've made a decision, you have full trust in that decision. You trust your decision making a little easier because you can get into your true desires a little faster with these two placements. So the third part that we look to complete like the full conscious experiences, including the moon, because that'll be our knee-jerk reactions, our instinctual desires. And it's kind of the situation where people who are really close to us get to know. It's our most intimate connection. So it's connected to the mother a lot, who we have felt the safest with since the beginning, or someone who embodies that person. It can also be really close soulmate connections, deep friendships, anything that you would consider an intimate relationship. And this is the kind of level of sensitivity and emotion that you carry with you is in your moon sign. So your moon is in the sign of Aries in the sixth house. So you have this axis here of Libra, the partnership, and Aries, the self, in your big three. So this just lets me know that relationships in general are very important to you. The one-on-one relationship where you can be concerned about your partner as if it was so attached to your soul, that Libra energy. And then that relationship that you have with yourself, the Aries moon, and the full first house here. You're walking on this axis and you're trying to find balance in it, which is the Libra rising goal here anyway. And in that Aries moon, it's the deep desire for you to not overcompromise who you are in these personal relationships that you gain from being such an influential person. So now we have this big three energy of someone who is very appealing to others because they have a great sense of who they are. And that attracts people who maybe don't know so much who they are, and they gravitate towards you. And that's wonderful because you have this inherent desire to be concerned for other people. Libra is very interested in the other person. So now you have this Aries moon saying, well, wait a second, like, I'm not willing to compromise who I am, even though I deeply care for other people. The peace that I'm looking for, I need to make sure that who I am isn't sacrificing too much. So your Aries moon, the instinct there is to protect number one first, and number one is you. So until you really feel good about who you are and you're honest with yourself about what you're passionate about and what your real desires are for emotional security, then it's going to keep erupting until you notice it. The Aries never is quiet for too long. So if you have an Aries in your big three, you'll do yourself a favor and really acknowledge any desires that you might think are too selfish, because Libra, all that Libra energy you have really doesn't like to be considered selfish. So sometimes those are repressed feelings. And the moon loves to hide things in the shadows that we're not proud of. It goes into the subconscious. You already have a 12th house sun. So you might be easier at burying these feelings that you think are unacceptable, or they're not going to give you that peaceful sense that you're looking for. So, so the wise advice here, I think, is just blast the light on all these shadow feelings that you may have, that you might have tucked away as being considered selfish or too blunt or almost aggressive, and own it and say, oh, actually, I'm not going to let my Aries moon just explode uncontrollably here and there. I'm going to always give it the space it needs. It's in my big three. It demands to be noticed and integrated into all that is myself. So you're going to want to be a little more selfish, be a little more blunt, be a little more daring, and a little bit more of a trailblazer, not in to step on anyone's toes, but that you are putting yourself first, because when you do that, then all your other qualities are going to light up even more, and you'll be able to affect more people. But you're going to have to do it in the way that you feel is right, and kind of um, let people worry about that on their own. That you don't need to worry about people's reactions to your desires. You need to go ahead and fulfill those anyway. So let's move on here. We're going to look at the Mercury, because that's usually not too far away from our sun sign. Mercury likes to um, help us with what we're thinking about, what we like to talk about, what we like to study about, that mental energy of the messenger. So with two of your three, big three being air signs, communication is important to you. And it looks like your Mercury is in Virgo, also in the 12th house. So this could be somebody who has a very active mind, especially when you are given time to yourself to really think about or contemplate the day, your dreams, um, not be on the spot. The 12th house Mercury is more of a intuitive energy. Sometimes ideas might just come to you when you're about to fall asleep, or you had a really wild dream that answers some questions for you. If you don't already have a journal where you write your dreams down, you probably should start one. And Mercury is naturally ruled by, or excuse me, Virgo is naturally ruled by Mercury. So this is an easy energy for you too. You probably have this great ability to communicate what is on your mind, or speak what is on your mind in great detail. There's not a lot of confusion. Sometimes in the 12th house, you do best when it's a privacy that you can maintain. So if somebody asks you a question and you don't feel comfortable answering it, you can remember that I don't have to answer just because someone asked me. You can always maintain a level of privacy and still get your message across. Sometimes 12th house Mercury feels like they're being investigated and they don't want all this prying communication in their life. They'd rather leave some things unsaid, and that's great. So in this case, do that. Your sun is also in the 12th house. Privacy, alone time, those are things that help you recharge. Even though it is in the communication energies, you're going to have to find balance, which is such a Libra theme, between being in the company of others, but then also taking the same amount of time for yourself alone to hear your own thoughts and communicate your own desires, to really keep that Aries moon happy. I think that's kind of the point here. You wanted to find this experience where you really gave yourself at least half of the time to know who you are too. So it's all about taking time for you and listening to only you to see what you come up with. And that's where these gifts are for you, because Mercury and Virgo really is a gift. That's great communication ability. It's an active mind and all the potential to really educate people too on whatever your mind is developing. You have the ability to bring it to life. Virgo is an earth sign. Whatever's in Virgo wants to be actualized into reality. It's not just a thought, it's the final outcome of the thought in reality. So anytime we have earth, it's something that you're actually doing. It's more tangible. So this is the time where your ideas actually create um, success or items or structure for someone. And it in the 12th house needs the time to be able to do that in its own space. Maybe your own office away from other people. All right, so let's see here. Next, we have the sign of Venus. So this talks about love. It's the discerning love, what you love and what you do not love. Neptune is really our unconditional love energy. Venus is more your taste in things. So that means that you have to not like things so that you can more precisely own what you do like. In the sign of Scorpio, you're someone that may be very physically attracted to people at first in the first house. Physical attraction and physical chemistry is going to be important to you. Of course, there's so much more to that than just looks. You know, is the person looking healthy? Do they take care of themselves? Are they deeply connected to who they are? Scorpio wants everything to the fullest extent. So if you have a Scorpio in the first house in Venus, that means that you want to see that the person that you could potentially be with is giving themselves the time it takes to be who they really are, and that they're not just um, taking this experience lightly. They stand for what they stand for. They treat their body with the respect it needs. And because in reverse, you do that too. Your first house is full. You're looking to fall in love with yourself and your own body and be happy with this experience and this life with yourself. So to have an equal partner, you're going to want to see that in them as well. And then once you can really believe that, then you have a lot of love to give. And it's really to be a self-sacrificing love. It's the kind of love that has no boundary. What's really great about a Scorpio Venus is that it's a fixed sign, where so far you don't have other fixed signs. So you really get grounded in your partnerships. When you feel like someone's worthy, then you can trust that they're going to help you stay grounded. They can be like a rock for you. And it takes a while sometimes for Scorpio Venus to really find that partner, because it is a lot that you're looking for. But it's because this is somebody that then you're going to be really relying on for a fixed amount of time. So you're not looking for a quick fling. You know, Scorpio Venus is a little bit more intense than that. They want somebody that they've already had in their mind that they're looking for. And once they are there and they know it, then they can really depend on it, especially if it's your only fixed sign in your big six. So your partner needs to be someone that you really do respect and you want to be loyal to, because then they're going to give you that sense of grounding. So make sure you're not getting trapped in like flings or superficiality. Those would be detrimental to your Venus placement. So let's go to Mars now, because Mars is going to show us where you are driven and what gets you to want to take action. What are you willing to make war over to achieve? So in the sign of Libra, in the first house, again, it's about you. You're willing to fight for yourself. You're willing to advocate your needs. Or are you? Because in the sign of Libra, sometimes that says, well, I want to, but I'm also wanting to protect my partner. And when Mars is in Libra, sometimes it gets a little uncomfortable because Mars is this, you know, god of war. Ask questions later, attack now. And Libra is very intellectual and mindful and emotionally detached and says, well, did we think of everything? Did we really try the treaty before we're going to war? And if the answer is no, then Libra is going to say, hold on, Mars. Mars is going to get frustrated. So here is a situation where you need to look to your moon again, because your Aries moon and your Mars, they're the same energy here. And with your Mars in the first house, I think what we're seeing here is this repeated theme of, do I put myself first? Do I put my partner first? And I think in this case, your Mars is saying, no, put me first. Use that same energy and go to war for yourself. And then other people will respect you more that way. But also, it's the self respect and the self drive. It's like there's something in you that just wants to be more self righteous. Like, I know what I want and I'm going to do it, but I need to do it in the Libra happy way. That I'm not really burning any bridges, but I'm making it clear that number one is me. And people will like that because that's where you really shine. And when you embrace that energy, then you're more able to help other people or connect with people. If you're overly cautious about what other people's needs are, then you're not really living to your fullest potential, and you will feel like this imbalance in energy. So Libra Mars is still looking for balance, but it's taking action to do it in your first house for yourself. So taking care of your physical body, intense exercise in a way that's balanced in the Libra light, that you're doing it to improve your physical health, but maybe it also makes you feel like you look better and your appearance can really flourish. And that makes Libra happy. So see how you can find the balance still, but you can still give Mars what it needs. It wants action in you. So if you're not already a very physically active person, then you should be, because a Mars first house person needs activity. It needs to fulfill its sexual desires as well. Sometimes Libra Mars has a higher sex drive because now we're looking at two people involved in Mars. So you might find that that is like a therapeutic experience for you, or makes you feel really connected to your partner and yourself. Also, any kind of partnership activity, like if you like to play tennis or pickleball or things like that, where you're one on one with your opponent, still competitive Mars, but making Libra happy that they're doing it in harmony. Those are ways that you can really feed that first house of yours, because you have so much going on, especially with the North Node. I know that's not part of your reading, but it kind of goes together. And this will be my last thought since we covered it all, is that your North Node is in your first house. So that means that you are here to focus on your relationship with yourself, and that Libra rising and that Libra sun can't help but be concerned about partnerships too. But I think this is how, when you are feeding yourself the most, you create these meaningful partnerships where you can really come to a relationship as an equal and find your equal. Same with that Venus Scorpio, you're looking to find someone who's worthy of you. And the first house North Node is that you want to be worthy of yourself. And you're releasing any dependency that you would have on another person, and you're comfortable in your own skin. And this brings you this sense of peacefulness that you can really stand on your own 2 feet. And what a gift that you already have your sun and ascendant in the same sign to help you with that. So it looks like a lot of good things going on in your chart to really help you grow and nourish the relationship with self, and keep your energy in this balanced harmony by not letting other people's needs come before yours, even in the name of risking being called selfish, because that's what you're here to do. You're here to get to know yourself and really project that self energy onto this world and influence others with that energy you have. Okay, I will stop here. Thank you so much for being part of this page and your support. Let me know if you have any questions.